4 minutes to the Chief Deputy Whip and our colleague from North Carolina, Patrick McHenry.
I thank the Secretary of the Republican Conference, my colleague and classmate from North Carolina, Virginia Fox. But today I stand in tribute with the fine threads of a man named Howard Coble, Congressman, State Representative, Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Revenue, Captain of the United States Coast Guard, school bus driver. That's where it all began in high school. That was his first public service. John Howard Coble has held a variety of titles during his time and during his years. But to me, he's always been known as the Dean of the North Carolina delegation, which he has been for the last 15 years, the longest-serving Republican member of this body in the history of the state of North Carolina, and my friend. And I'm here to pay tribute and to thank him for his time in public service. He is what a member of Congress should be, and that is concern for his constituents and being their voice here in Washington and having an impact. And you certainly, my dean, have had a huge impact on my life, those that are paying tribute to say thank you tonight, but also your constituents and the American people, and we thank you. Now, there are a number of stories about the dean, a number of them I like to tell over the years, and most of them are in fact true. But this one story I want to tell tonight, actually two, if I may, it goes back to the first time Howard ran for Congress in 1984. The campaign committee for the Republicans brought up folks in tough, challenging races to have some video and film shot with President Ronald Reagan to help with his popularity, to help get some folks across the finish line in 1984. And Howard was so nervous that he forgot to shake the Gipper's hand. And so one of the campaign committee staff, they were coming to Coble's district, and Howard said, where were you? And he said, well, I was just in Alabama with President Reagan. Oh, really? He says, yeah, I told him I was going to Greensboro. And President Reagan looked at me and said, well, tell that son of a gun that didn't shake my hand I said hello. And so Howard got a little flustered and was a little embarrassed and everything else until everybody started laughing. But Howard's had a great sense of humor, and that shows the real testament to Howard's integrity. But the other thing about Howard is fiscal conservatism, and it goes back to what he said his campaign is going to bring a sharp pencil to the Washington budget, and he in fact has. It wasn't very well appreciated during his early service in Congress. There's a member of Congress who was furious, who said that sharp pencil might actually get your ticket written out of Congress. And Howard told him that he thought, well, I believe there's life after Congress, and let the guy go on his way. Well, that guy was not reelected, and Howard's been reelected 14 times during his time here. So true proof that fiscal conservatism can still win. There are a number of other stories that we'll talk about over perhaps a drink afterwards. But the one thing is, everybody from his district knows, and those of us from North Carolina know, that he knows every high school mascot in the state of North Carolina. And every child that I see that comes through Congress is simply amazed that their dean knows where they're from and knows their high school and their high school mascot. It's because he cares. And so we're grateful tonight, and we want to say thank you to our friend, our dean, our leader, John Howard Coble. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentlelady from North Carolina.